you had spoken in some area, some forum, where you spoke about how the commentary that came through from Nigerians about the Tunumbiri bombing somewhat affected the army. But several others thought they were pointing those things out to ensure that, it doesn't happen again and the right things are done. So if you speak about that, did it really affect the morale of the troops? And could you also tell us if there's an update on the investigation of the matter?
Thank you very much. We understand that generally everybody feels bad. We actually feel bad also. Anytime we have mistakes, we take ownership, and we feel extremely very bad about it, especially even when we lose our own troops in war. We just want Nigerians to understand that the incident was never deliberate. We'll never deliberately target our citizens. Our mandate is to protect Nigerians, innocent Nigerians, and we'll continue to do that. And we have continued to do that. It's unfortunate that out of the 99 successes we had, this one that we had has given us a lot of negative responses. But we know Nigerians want success, and we are succeeding. The federal government has set up a committee that will look into it. We don't want to make comments about what has happened, but we know at the end of it, the truth will come out, and then everybody will really understand that it was definitely a mistake. That same incident, there were a lot of activities that were ongoing within that general area, and we were on because a few days before then, some troops were killed. And so we're actually monitoring the movement around the area. And unfortunately, this other activity happened 10 p.m. at night, which was very strange. But like I said, mistakes were made. We'll make amends. Just for Nigerians to understand, the armed forces of Nigeria is solidly behind the federal government, solidly behind Nigeria. Our mandate is to defend democracy, and we'll continue to do that. So nobody should have any fear. We'll take amends after the committee has come up. We'll take correction. Anybody that is found to be culpable will face the music. But like I said, we should not, by our actions, inactions, or utterances, demoralize our troops. These guys stay awake so that we can sleep. I see a lot of people talking. It is easier for you to sit back and say they made a mistake, they're not doing well, and this. What is the option? If they pull out from these locations, what happens? We will not even have a country. So for them to have stayed, slept in the darkness and sun and the rainfall and dust and everything, just to ensure that me and you are able to sleep, wake up, go to our offices, and do our normal routine, I think we should give them some accolade and some respect. So we just want Nigerians to understand that yes, mistakes have been made because we're human beings, but we will never be deliberate. That I can assure you.
General, we don't want you to strain your hand, so don't worry, you could drop it. If the earpiece drops, we'll put it back in so that you'll be comfortable with it. So what should Nigerians expect about this investigation? Is all of it going to be made public? When should we expect some feedback from this investigation?
Very well. It's going to be made public. The federal government is already in charge. The federal government is working on it. I'm sure the announcement will come out very soon, and then they will hit the ground running. Like I said, we're sincere, we're fair, we're impartial. We want to know what really happened. We equally want to know what actually happened so that we can make amends. I can assure you that nothing will be thrown under the carpet.
I know that you've had quite a number of engagements with the National Assembly. You appeared before them on a number of occasions. One of them also has to do with budgets and asking for more funds to support the work of the Nigerian military. I'm looking at all of the challenges that we're currently facing from the east to the west, from north to south. Are you able to measure in concrete terms whether or not we're making progress on any of the fronts of the wars that we're currently fighting?
Yeah, thank you very much. We are actually making progress. It's going to be slow. It's going to be slow because we are dealing with people that are benefiting immensely from what they are doing. Most of it is economic. When the Boko Haram incident started, it was ideological. But now that we've defeated them, we've pushed them down so much, it is economic. And because we have a group of Nigerians that patronize these individuals because they make so much money, and you can see the process they make from from kidnappings, from abductions, and from all this stuff. So, and I always said that Nigerians must take ownership of our challenges. It is only when we do that together we can win this battle. Let those trading with them, supporting them, the logisticians as we call them, let them stop. We have a lot of individuals that fund them, that give them this. And those are aspects that we need to be able to checkmate. The kinetic effort is ongoing. We're doing so much and we're achieving a lot of success. Just a few days ago, we've taken out a lot of them. These things don't actually come out. And we don't want to just run to the media as if we are making, what happened? We're just trying to make, we're not trying to push these efforts to make it look as if we are campaigning. You know, it's not a campaign. This is a military campaign that we're doing. And it is important for Nigerians to take ownership of it. We're succeeding and will continue to do better. We're hopeful that the budget, when released, when we get the funds, we'll be able to get the much needed equipment that we need. We're leveraging a lot on technology. The land mass is vast. We have a lot of forests that we need to cover. We believe that with technology, it will actually will be very precise. And this will assist us in avoiding such errors that happen in Kaduna.
Well, I do know that in one of the engagements, we heard that it might take another, 3 decades or so before we eventually are able to clear out some of the situations that we've seen in the north, especially northeast and also northwest. How long are you projecting that, all of the territories that had been taken before now by either, kidnappers or another, branch of terrorists, how long do you think it will be before all of these territories are back fully under Nigerian control?
Sooner than later. It depends on what we do as a nation. If we work together as a team, every Nigerian playing his role together to support the military and the federal government, I think we will succeed. A lot of the equipment that we require, we don't produce them, so we have to buy, and we buy them in hard currency. So it's not even easy to get by. Now we have the Israeli, the Hamas crisis. We have the Ukraine, the Russian crisis. All those ones are taking tolls because to even get these equipment, it's not easy. So what we're saying is we must develop our own industrial complex. And it is when we do that, then we produce what we need. And it will save us foreign exchange that has been very difficult to come by. But I can assure you that sooner rather than later, we'll get this. If we continue the pressure, I'm sure we'll succeed.
The matter of Tudunbiri with a view to, demanding more transparency of past accidental bombings. Yes, the governor of Kaduna State has assured us that he has had continued engagement with the armed forces, and he's promising that this time around that, the investigation will be carried out and will be made public. Would you provide assurances in that regard as well, that investigations into past accidental bombings will be made public such that, the army would rebuild confidence with the population that has been affected in past accidental bombings, and for Tudunbiri community as well?
Yeah, very well. I can tell you most of the communities know and understand that it is in the quest to get the terrorists that these mistakes were made. Driving in the forest while we move around on patrols, we get a lot of support from the communities. You see them appreciating what we're doing. Most times some mistakes are made. Most of the people that want to harp on the errors rather than the successes are people with their own intent. We don't know what the intents are, but I can guarantee that we have succeeded 80% of what we're doing. Mistakes will definitely be there, but we will avoid them. We are fine-tuning there, and we're waiting for the results for the committee to finish. Once they bring up, we'll look at what were the areas that we need to also fine-tune. Like I said, as long as you are alive, you keep on learning, you keep on improving. It is not only in Nigeria. I'm sure you have been watching other current military operations, crises all over the world. You can see that these mistakes happen. It is not only for us alone. Besides, we don't produce most of the items that we need. Sometimes weather, you could take all the coordinates and do what you're supposed to do. This just happened. It's highly regrettable. We understand that Nigerians are aggrieved, but I can assure them, let them know that and understand that their armed forces are there doing their job just to ensure that Nigeria moves forward, and will continue to do that.
Pardon me to butt in. Will the outcome of past investigations into past accidental bombings be made public, as well as that of Tudunbiri?
Yeah, well, I really can't say much about that. All I know is that we on our own, we take our own, we have our own orderly room procedure that we do. We take action, we take corrections, we adjust our SOPs on how we conduct operation. And that's why you see that it keeps on getting better. And punishments are meted, as important as it is. But again, it should be corrective. The aspect of even taking people to prison for whatever it is they've done, it should be corrective. It is not the aspect. These guys have sacrificed so much, and they did not, and they will never, ever intentionally want to kill innocent civilians. And let me make this clear. The terrorists have understood that we have, challenges while trying to go after them. So what do? Human shields. They go into communities, mix up with the communities, and this has added into prolonging the operation we're doing. On several occasions in the Northeast, North Central, Northwest, we have called off strikes of very important criminals that we wanted to get because they embedded themselves within the civilian community. And once we're able to identify the civilian community, we call off that strike. And that's one of the reasons why it's prolonging the whole operation. But like I said, this one was a big mistake. We were on the heat of these individuals, and suddenly these other innocent people came across, operating, moving just like the way those other guys were. And there was a mix-up, and this incident happened. But we'll take amends, and then we'll move forward.
You've also been quoted as talking about some of the frustrations that the army, the military generally, is having, especially in maintaining the peace in the southeast, quoting some Nigerian outside the shores of the nation, frustrating the efforts of the army. Can you talk to us about that? What are the inhibitions that are coming? What partnership are you getting from the people, or particularly even from the state governments and leaders of thoughts in the southeast?
Yeah, so thank you very much. In the southeast, we're getting a lot of support from the people, from the government especially. What we are calling, like I mentioned the other day about someone, Ekpa, him sitting in Finland and causing confusion in Nigeria is unacceptable. The Finnish government must stop him from doing, if they say he's their citizen, he's affecting another sovereign nation. And for whatever reason, they should call him to order, because I know they will not take it if it was the other way around. He was in Nigeria and causing problem in Finland. So I think it's very, very critical. Again, we still have reports of individuals that covertly support this one, contribute money to them, encourage them, give them logistics and leadership. We want to call on them that the armed forces and other security agencies are going both overtly and covertly. Anybody that is found to be supporting them will be treated as one of them. And it is important. What we need is, for those, a lot of them are just a bunch of individuals that are misled. There is nothing like secessionist tendency. A lot of them are into looking for money, they're into kidnapping, ritual killings. We have seen videos of what they do to humans. They kidnap people, cut their heads, cut their hands, and for whatever reason, I think that is very barbaric. That is evil. Nobody should support such a thing. We should all put hands together with the state government, with the federal government, to move this country forward. We have a lot of other challenges that are being tackled. We shouldn't allow some individuals to drag us back. We should learn to move forward as Nigerians. One nation, one destiny.
You want, you may speak to that, but I'm very concerned about the welfare of your men spread all over the nation. There are those who believe that the military has been spread so thin and consequently unable to really do some of the primary functions for which it is called according to the Constitution. What are the challenges that you are aware that your men are having in terms of their welfare, so that they can give their hearts and soul to the services that they have to offer to Nigeria?
Okay, if you look at the Constitution, our primary responsibility is the territorial integrity. But if you look at the territorial integrity, it is implied that charity begins at home. We cannot be protecting the territory and the home front is on fire and then sit back and watch. And our training is such that we train even on police duties. So when people tell us it is not our responsibility, yes, it's not our primary responsibility, but we have a responsibility to ensure that both within and outside, Nigerians are protected, and that's exactly what we're doing. Now, I mentioned the other time the issue of welfare. Over the past few, we have, on average, the armed forces recruit over 15,000 personnel, both officers and soldiers, into the system. We are not building new barracks. We know efforts we have, the budget has captured some of it. We need to do more. We need to renovate the old ones because they've been there for ages, so that we can fix them. My dream is for every officer and soldier to have an accommodation that he can look up and say, look, this is my own, this is my barracks. We find a lot because of the operations we're conducting. A lot of the officers and soldiers are out there in the field. If today all these operations are over and we have to go back to the barracks, there won't be enough barracks for us. The issue of ration cash allowance where we feed, like I've informed you, anytime we're on operations, I, as a general, I'm being fed on 1,200 per day with my soldiers. From the first general to the last soldier, the same amount. That's what we manage with. My soldier collects at least less than 50,000 for his salary a month. We all know the situations on ground. My appeal is for them to have salaries that, I mean, is worth it for the work they're doing. We deserve to have that, so that they can encourage them to want to do more. We have a lot of them that have been injured, families separated for a very long time. These are aspects that we think, the moral aspect of it, that will actually ginger the troops to want to do more. And especially on the issue of Nigerians, also encouraging the men. I mean, we have seen other countries when military men come into airports, how they are being applauded. They get first class treatment wherever they go to. When they go to buy things, they get rebate. We don't get all those things in Nigeria, and yet we're doing such services. We're not saying that everybody should give us everything that we need, but I think we should be considered, and the troops deserve commendation. I have told you as a commander, my greatest pain is when I have to face the family of my either officer or soldier to tell them they lost their breadwinner. It is painful. You go back with nightmares when you close your eyes. Nigerians should understand that these people have their families all over. Just the way we're enjoying with our, now it's holiday period. A lot of people are on holidays, have traveled abroad. We don't have that luxury. Most times you don't get to see your family all over this period. These are sacrifices they make, and I think we should look at aspects of trying to commend them. On medical aspects, on the treatment, we have to get prosthetics for those of them that went through IEDs. If you see the devastating effects of IEDs on troops, legs amputated, arms amputated, so many injuries being faced. And so we're pushing well, and I think the armed forces deserve some level of commendation. But like I said, President Tinubu has actually done so much so far. He's really, really concerned. He has told us his mandate is for us to restore peace. We must operate jointly, which we're doing. And he has promised he's going to approve funding, enough funding for us to be able to get the equipment that we need. And I can guarantee Nigerians, the more we get, the more we perform. With the little we don't have, we're even still doing very well. I'm happy that Nigerians, we have companies, civilian companies that have also started producing made in Nigeria equipment. That's what we need. I think that's the way forward. Other companies are also coming in to partner with DICON. We must produce what we need in order to enjoy and be able to have a very professional armed forces that will perform its task remarkably. And like I tell you, we drive around, we see kids coming around and saying, thank you, God bless you. God, consistently people call us and just pray for us to continue to do what we're doing. We know there are some people that probably might not, for one reason or the other, are not happy that the armed forces is being appreciated. But I think for the good of our country, we should not demoralize our troops. We should all put hands together to ensure that we encourage them. Because the more they succeed, the more peace we enjoy in the country.